The jet crash in Philadelphia and the deadly mid-air collision near the nation's capital last week, they have put a renewed focus on aviation safety. As Ted Greenberg shows us, there's an ongoing push to put more eyes on air traffic using innovative training tools.
This is exactly what they would be facing in the tower.
This simulator offers a high degree of realism for the dozen or so air traffic control students at Atlantic Cape Community College. The school's chair for aviation operations, Tim Swick, would like to have double that amount.
There's a need for more controllers. About 3/4 of the FAA's facilities are staffed at a level below their target.
Concerns intensified about an ongoing shortage of air traffic controllers in the U.S. following last week's catastrophic mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and Army helicopter near Washington, D.C.'s Reagan National Airport.
The more controllers that we can have and the closer we can come to the required staffing, the better off we are.
There's this new generation of trainees now where they kind of grew up with a device, in their hands.
The company Alex Wynn runs is developing new video game-like training software designed to attract and engage air traffic control students. DC-based Concepts Beyond has offices at the National Aerospace Research and Technology Park in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey.
Cat 05.
The innovative software uses AI, machine learning, and has multiple skill levels that become more realistic.
09er, clear for takeoff.
The system is designed to complement, but not replace, existing training tools, which the company says often use scripted scenarios that can become predictable.
Turn left.
But here we're creating methods where the scenarios are kind of auto-generated and can be adapted to the student's performance so that they see more randomness that provides for a more realistic real-world situation.
2 inbound aircraft.
The air traffic control program at Atlantic Cape is the only one of its kind in New Jersey.
We're trying to get the word out that we're here and that this is a good career.
Ready to help future controllers spread their wings with a focus on safety.
Now, UND was recently accepted into the FAA's Enhanced Air Traffic Collegiate Training Initiative. It's a program that will get students into the workforce faster to fill those vital jobs. Still ahead for you at noon, if you're looking to shake up the menu at your Super Bowl bash, the Mr. Food Test Kitchen has an idea we'll show you in just 2 minutes.